Okay, we're going to wait just a couple more minutes. Welcome to the class. We're just going to wait, see if anybody else is going to join us here at the last minute. We are here to do the Ellie class, so hopefully that is what you have in front of you in your kit.
Can they hear
us? Can you guys hear me? Yes, that would be excellent. If you guys can hear me, just either send me a chat and say yes, or somehow let me know that you guys can hear me. Good.
Awesome.
We did like half a class one time and they could not hear anything we were saying. Thank goodness we had closed captioning on so they could at least follow that. Okay, we're just waiting a couple more minutes just to see if there's anybody else who's going to join us. Right now, all of you are muted. If you would like to unmute yourself so that you can talk back and forth with us, that's great. Or you can just turn it on when you want to ask a question. I also have the chat going here beside me, so I'll always be, if you see me looking over to the side, that's what I'm doing. And I know that some of you have your video off. If you feel comfortable putting your video on, all that does is it just helps us gauge as to how fast or how slow we're going, if we need to move faster or we need to slow down at all. So that's the only thing. If we can do the video, that would be great. If you don't want to turn your video on, that's fine. And if we're going too fast, then just throw it into chat. I'll keep checking. My name is Dory. I am the retail manager here at Meadowbrook Boards. And tonight, although I'm going to be also making an elephant, I'm going to kind of be doing the technical part. So you may see me getting up and leaving and going and checking some things. This is Amber.
Yep. Yep. My name is Amber and I am what we call a gourd beautician here at Meadowbrook. So I'm in the back putting all these little pieces together. So basically what we're doing tonight is what I do in the back. So it's a lot of fun.
Just a couple more minutes while we wait. There's a couple things just in case you did not get these together. We would suggest you getting a water bowl so you can clean out your brushes, some paper towels, some kind of a plate that you can put paint on. And if anybody has baby wipes, these are wonderful things to clean up your hands with. And since we are working with paints, they also, you can paint off your board if you mess up or something. Remember, the paints come off our hands real good, but not our clothing. So if you want to put on some kind of a smock, that might not be a bad idea either, if you're worried about getting paint on your clothes. So, okay, do you want to start going over parts?
Yep. I'll start going over parts. So we'll start with the elephant. So I'll give you all the parts that you should have with the elephant. Should have these two little ears, the head, as I drop it. If that was loud, sorry. But yeah, you should have the little head of the elephant with two holes, little slits on the sides of that, and that's going to be for the ears, but I'll explain that later. You should have the body, which is right here, and the body should have had the legs already come in it with your kit, and if it didn't, that's okay.
I took mine out.
So if you took them out, that's okay. I'll explain how you put them back in. You should have 2 Q-tips, 2 different size paint brushes, And then you should have 4 containers of paint. So you should have 2 of the gray, 1 white, and then 1 black. Now, also within your kit, it should have came separated. You should have had these 2 white containers separate from this white container. If you put them together, it'll look like there's one darker than the other 2. Those 2 that are lighter are glue. So don't mistake them being paint. So the darker one is going to be the actual white that we're going to use. So these 2 are glue, just so you keep them separated. You don't use them as paint. And then you should also have a little ribbon to tie the bow, which is on the top there. But that should be everything that came in your kit. And like Dory said, if you have a water bowl and a plate and paper towels and stuff, that would be great too.
Alexa off. Finally.
No, it's still playing.
Huh?
It's still playing.
Well, I tried to get the music off in the store and Alexa's not listening to me, kind of like my kids. So so anyway, if you hear music in the background, I can't get it to go off. So it is what it is.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to glue these feet in. Because we're using tacky glue, it takes a little bit for it to tack up. And to put this thing together, the elephant together, we just need to glue the feet in. It's just going to be a lot easier to have the feet already glued in and then to go ahead and try and paint everything, the feet and the body at the same time. So to put the feet in, let's make a mess. You want the 2 bigger, we call spinners. You want the 2 bigger spinners, so the 2 bigger gourds in the front. So that's going to be where this hole is. So you want the 2 bigger ones in the front. So if you just look at the 4, you should be able to tell the difference between the big and the smaller ones. So the big ones go in the front and then the small ones go in the back. So I just want you to kind of look and see which ones that is. So whenever you glue it, you can just take them out and then glue that one. So what I want you to do is, hopefully it'll balance for you. If not, you can lay it on its back. But you'll want to take one of your Q-tips and one of your glue containers. You're going to pull your feet out. So I'm going to start with the top 2, which would be the 2 bigger ones. You don't have to start with those. I'm just starting with those.
And they're going to go in the front.
Yes, those go in the front, and the front is where the hole is.
Okay.
So then you're just going to take some glue and you're going to put your Q-tip in the glue, and you're just going to put a ring of glue on the inside. I would not worry about getting glue on the outside, like on the surface here. It'll dry clear, and we're also going to be painting over it. So I would not worry about that. I would do that on both sides, and it doesn't matter how much glue you use, just enough that covers the whole circle. And then you'll just stick your little feet in. Just like that. And then you'll go ahead and do the other 2. And they go in the same way. So then once you get your feet glued in, mine needs to, if you have one that's like pretty loose in the hole, I would just cover it really good with glue, just so some part of it tacks up. Just so you know it's gonna be. All right, there we go. So then I would take it and set it up on its feet so that it has time to dry just like that. So I would just let it sit and we'll let that go. So you can go ahead and close your glue container. So we'll come back to that, but we're gonna work on the head of our elephant here.
Well, let's go in there, don't you?
All right, so you'll just take the head of the elephant and we're just gonna paint it. So you can go ahead and get your gray paint. I'm gonna use the bigger brush. If you use the smaller brush, you're gonna be at it for a while. So you don't wanna use this one. You wanna use your bigger one. Now, if you have a bigger paintbrush than this at home that you would prefer to use, you're more than welcome to use that. So we'll just get the gray paint out. Now this is a light gray. So if you don't want your elephant gray and you have other colors at your house, you're more than welcome to use them. And you can also make this gray darker as well by using some of the black paint, because we're not going to use a lot of the black paint. The black paint is just to paint the eyes onto the elephant. So you can go for it if you want. I'm going to hold it like this to paint it.
I always do things the difficult way. So I'm holding mine like this.
Yes, so you can hold it like that too. Either way. And I will also tell you, it's a lot easier for your paint to go on if you get your paintbrush wet first. Not too wet.
See, that's why she's in the back doing this daily and I'm out here.
That's okay. And also too, another tip to help paint not to go on you and to splash up on you when you're like brushing it on is to paint away from you. So if you just do your strokes like away from you like this. You don't have to, but it just helps for it to not splash on your clothes if you want to be careful about that.
You have to go in the ear holes.
No.
Okay.
Those will be covered
Okay.
when we put the ears in. So you don't have to go into the ear hole. Good question.
Music is annoying me. Alexa, off. She does
doesn't
not
wanna
want to listen to me. Ah.
It's not bothering me, so
Okay.
you don't have to worry about me. And this paint should dry really fast for you, especially if you're doing a thin coat, like watered down. It should dry really fast. So I'm gonna let this sit. I know I have this part of it to paint still. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit, let this dry. If you want to just go ahead, Dory just went ahead and painted it and she didn't care about getting it on her fingers.
I never do. I'm a messy painter, so.
What you could also do too is just kind of set it down on the table like this and then paint up on it as well. I would definitely say you're gonna want to paint the tip of the head there.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think I am gonna just sit it on the table here and just go for it.
Yeah, that dries really quick, but I definitely will need another coat.
Yes.
Everybody doing okay so far? They look like they're hard at work.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Some of these look like some new names. Is this the first time for some of you? Yeah, okay, good. Good.
So I'm gonna let that dry.
Oh, hold on a minute. I got someone in the room. Okay. Okay, hi Kara, I see that we just left you in. So all we have done so far is we have glued the feet into the bottom or into your body. So you can go ahead and do that and then just let that sit and dry. And then we've just started painting the elephant head. We've put the first coat on and we'll be painting some more. So please let me know if you have any questions.
I do want to let you know whenever you do go to glue your feet in, you want to make sure you're bigger. So you're gonna have two different sizes. You want to make sure your bigger feet go in the front, and how you know what's the front is it's gonna be the one with the hole in the front. So the bigger ones go in the front, and then the smaller ones in the back. And then, like Dory said, we're just sitting them up here and letting them dry and tack up while we paint the head.
Put my second coat on.
Yes, and it does look like this is drying like really fast. So we can go ahead and put the second coat on the head. Mine doesn't really look like it needs a second coat. I think it's
I really
good.
watered my first coat down.
Okay. Yes.
So that makes a big difference.
They look good. I love this color.
Yeah, it's a pretty color.
Mhm. It's gray, but it's like a
It's almost like a blue gray.
yeah.
What do they call it? Like a Confederate gray.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's my second coat. Everybody looks like they're still painting.
So once you get your second coat on your head, you'll just go ahead and set that head to the side, let that dry a good bit. And we're gonna go ahead and paint the ears. So these ears, you can paint them. The original here that we have sitting in front of you, the back of the ears are completely painted, and then the front of them have like a very, very light coat on them. So you can still see some of the natural gold coming through it. And to get that, you just really water down your paint. So if you want to do it that way, or if you want to just paint the whole entire ear the gray color, that is totally fine. So whatever you want to do, I'm gonna paint one side and then I'll paint the other one.
You know, I have to pick mine up.
Yeah.
She always paints when stuff's on the table, and I always have to pick it up because just the way we paint.
Yeah, I think this one I'll probably just keep up. Until I get to my finger here, and oh, as I dropped it. And then I'll paint on here. I'm really loving how fast this paint is drying.
Drying is crazy. So has everybody that's doing the class have you all been out to the farm? No? Okay, some of you probably might be too far away. Yep.
Ready for a second coat.
Okay.
And then you just do the ears like you did the head. If you water down your paint and you want to paint a second coat, go ahead. You can do that. Paint's just drying really fast. Hopefully it's drying fast for you guys too.
Drying fast on my table too. Oh my.
All right. So once you do one side, you'll just flip it over and you'll do your other side. Now, like I said, I did the back side of the ear first. Probably should have told you that, but it doesn't matter what side you do first. But I did the back side, so now I'm gonna do the front side, and I think I am gonna let a lot of the natural shine through. So I'm gonna just really water down my paint, and that's how you get that. And you just do one coat too. So you just really water down the paint and you do one coat.
I think I'm gonna pour some out a little bit. That way I can control how much water I put in it.
Did you get it to?
No.
No, just kind of. Wow. It's a little lighter.
Oh my, it's definitely lighter. It just,
It still kind of looks really covered.
yeah.
That's okay.
I like the way it looks though, but yeah, only one coat will be needed on that.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna let those ears dry. And it's okay if the ears aren't completely dry. I am gonna have us go ahead and glue them in. Just because we're gonna do the eyes then. And it's just gonna be a lot easier for you to tell where to put the eyes if the ears are in. A lot easier. So stick to the seat. Okay, so you want your glue container again. And your Q-tip. And you're going to just put glue in these slits in the ears. Now, what I want to tell you, when you go to glue these ears in, the front of this if you put the ears in to where you'll be able to tell. So if you put them in, you should have the curve in the back. That way when the ear goes in the front, it'll be like this. So this side of the ear is the front, and then this is the back. So as you can see in the slit, if you can see that the back side is a lot more curved,
Yeah.
that's going to go towards the back. And then the ear will just go right in that slit. So you'll want to put glue in that, and then the ear will go right in. Again, I wouldn't worry too much about the glue coming out. If you are, just take your finger and kind of rub at the edges of it, and that can get the glue to come off.
This glue is just a tacky glue, and so it does dry clear, which is really nice.
Yes.
To work with.
And I also want to mention these ears are very sharp.
Yes.
So be careful. Okay. And then it'll look like that. So once you get your ears glued in, keep that in front of you. I'm gonna just lay mine down here with the ears up that are the front. I'm just gonna give you a couple minutes or a couple seconds here, and then we're gonna do the eyes. So I'll let you guys get those glued in.
My ears are different sizes.
Yeah,
Isn't it cute?
They are cute though.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it reminds me of like a little mouse.
Yeah, it does kind of look
Without the nose.
Yeah, that's cute. Okay.
Okay.
Is everybody all caught up? Is everybody where we are? Do we need to slow down a little bit? A little bit? Okay.
No problem.
So we'll just slow down here a second and let everybody kind of get caught up and the one thing about this glue, if you've never worked with it before, it does take a while to set up. That's why we're kind of doing all the gluing first. It takes a good 30-40 minutes. The last thing we're going to have you guys do is glue your head on, and that's going to take a while. So
Yes.
try not to, don't pick your head up by your ear, because the ear will just come right back out.
Yes.
Okay, well, while you guys are getting caught up, I'll let you know what's going on the farm.
Yes.
So we are, I don't know about you guys, but we have been having some really, really hot weather.
Yeah.
And so our gourds are just about to go in the ground. They were started in May in our greenhouses. And so they're probably about 3 inches tall, about 3 inches tall. We've been bringing them out on these nice days so that they kind of get hardened to the weather. So when we put them in the ground, they're used to kind of being blowing around and everything. So they're actually doing really, really good. We do 2 plantings, and we're planting about 35 acres this year. So last year we only planted about 10 because, of course, with COVID, we had no idea what was going to be happening. So we didn't plant a whole lot. So this year we have to plant a little bit more than what we normally do. But bless you.
Thank you.
So that's
where that came from.
happening. Our corn is in, our soybean is in. Winter wheat is up probably about a foot, so that's good. So yeah, we have lots going on the farm, and we are actually in our production area, we are actually working on fall and winter already, trying to get ahead of this, all the orders coming in and getting ready for the upcoming season. So that's where we are.
Okay. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start explaining the eyes for a little bit. I'm not like actually starting the eyes. For those of you that are still trying to catch up, take your time.
Good question.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kara. When you put the glue, I'm assuming you used your Q-tip,
Yes,
yes? And you put it down inside, so when you are in the little crevice,
yes.
does
Mhm.
this glue, does it dry clear?
It does.
It does, okay. And about how much glue would you say you coated well, or just minimal, or?
I would say a moderate amount.
Okay.
I would definitely take the glue and put it the whole way across. So I would just take your Q-tip, shove it the whole way down into where it stops, and just take it and run it and put a good bit of glue. It should hold with just that.
Okay, very nice. Oh, by the way, I buy your gourds. You send them to me and they're beautiful.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Every time I've gotten them, they are absolutely lovely.
Well, good. Now, do you don't live nearby then?
I live in Harford County,
Okay.
Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've ordered like
I'm glad you
probably
enjoy them.
5 times. I've gotten orders from you. And they are always so nice and so pretty.
Oh, well,
And I
thank
ordered them once from somebody else, and I got to tell you, they were not as nice. So
Oh.
I'm kind of a regular.
you.
Anyway, thank you.
You're addicted now.
Yeah, I'll be part of the family before you
There
know
you
it.
All right. So the couple of things that I want to tell you about the eyes, as you can see, oh, you can't see because of the words. On the original here, these eyes are going to be really tricky. Now I'm going to do the eyes and I will teach you how to do them. But what I'll tell you is you are more than welcome to do circles.
That's what I'm doing.
To make it way easier on you, you can do circles. What I would do if you do use do circles, I would not worry about using this small paintbrush. Use your Q-tip. That'll help get that really round circle. So what you can do is just you dip your Q-tip in the paint, the black paint, and then just dot the eyes. And then you can make them bigger from there. So if you want to do it that way, totally okay. But I'm going to teach you how to do it this way, just in case someone wants to do it this way. But I think Dory's going to do circles.
I'm going to do circles because that's where I am.
Okay. So let me move this.
As I say, you can just push that off to the side. That doesn't matter.
I'll move this here so that you can see the eyes and have it not covered by the words. All right, so you want the front of your gourd, the head, which is going to be this one. So you can see there's like a ledge on this ear, and that's going to be the front. To line the eyes up, as you can see, the bottom line here is just, actually, it's an illusion. As you can see, it kind of looks like it's below this ear, but it's not. If I put my finger here, my finger's touching this ear, just like that. So you want to make sure that that line on the bottom is in line with the bottom of the ear. And then you just want them evenly spaced between the ears. To start with this type of eye, you'll want your really tiny paintbrush. And you'll also want your black paint. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make a dot. just to center it to see where I want the eyes. So I'm gonna make 2 dots and how to just to signify where I want each of the eyes to start. So I'm gonna make a dot that's the corner of this right here. So these 2. And then I'll show you. So just look where you want it and how I'm going to eyeball where I'm putting it. I'm going to go based off of the inner ear on mine and just go in a little bit. And I would go about halfway down. So you're going to go like halfway in the center of the gourd. Okay. So I have the 2 little dots already, and that's the inner eye. So right in the inner. So from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the bottom curve. So it's just a little curve, as you can see with my paintbrush here. That's what you're going to do with the bottom. So I would just make that, and it doesn't matter how long you make it. It's however big you want your eyes. And again, I'll show you once I'm finished here. And we can always go back and fix it and make this flare as you see on the side here. So I'm just going to do a little line and do the eye. And if I want it bigger or if I need a flare, I can then add that. But this is just so it's even. So there we go. So once you get the line on the bottom, you're going to take the inner side of the eye here and you're going to make a half circle to the other side. Again, don't worry about having a little flare at the end. We'll add that. So you just go from the center and do a half circle, however big you want them. And I would start out small to see if you like it and if it's a good shape for you. That way then you can go bigger. And I do one eye facing this way, and then to do the other eye, I do flip it. It's just easier for me. So if that's easier for you, you can go ahead and definitely do that. Okay, so I did mine really small just to make sure it's the location I wanted it. But now I'm going to go back and do the half circles bigger to make them look more like this one here.
Are you gonna paint them, color them in then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make them bigger and then I'll color them in. And also a good tip too, if you're having trouble with this paintbrush, because it is really flimsy and it does require a steady hand, I would use a Sharpie. So you can just draw. What you can do is you can take a pencil, which you could have done that too before we started with the paint. You can take a pencil and draw the eyes on, and then you just want to make sure you cover the pencil marks. But you can do that with a Sharpie too if you're having trouble with the paintbrush and the black paint doing these eyes. But I think Dory did the circles.
I just did circle eyes. I used my Q-tip and started with just a dot, and then I just kept going around to the size that I wanted them to be. So that's. Music.
And I'm still just shaping the eyes to where I want them.
I guess I'm closing my book for right now.
And then I did go ahead and go back and do the little flare at the end. Just like that. And again, if you're really struggling and you think you should have just done circles, baby wipes. You have baby wipes, use them. That'll help take that off. And then you can paint gray over them and then just do circles.
And then do circles.
If you're having trouble. But with the circle too, you can also do a little flare if you want it as well. It just won't have the
wavy
There we go,
line
yeah.
at the bottom.
the wavy line. There we go.
Yeah.
So just let that dry a little bit. Just gonna blow it a little.
You can also, whenever you're painting or you are doing gourds, other gourds, if you decide to get any more kits, you can use a blow dryer on low, and that will help the paint dry too. We suggest not using it on high because sometimes the paint will crack. So just a low setting, lightly going over top of it does a really good job drying the paint for you.
Yes. So then once you get your little eyes on, the last step we have to do on the eyes is a little fleck that you see. So that little white part of the eye that you see there is what we're gonna do next. And that is super simple. On these, this original here, the fleck is on opposite sides. I'm gonna do it on the same side. So I'll show you. So you'll want your white paint and you'll want your smaller paintbrush again. And you're going to do it about 2 o'clock in the eye. And you're just gonna make a line. And I'll show you once I got the 2 lines in. This just gives character to the eye to make it look not so
Blank.
yeah.
Like a blank deer in headlights.
But that's what it looks like when you do it on the same side. So you can do it how this original is here and do it on opposites, or you can do it the way I have it here. I'm trying to.
This is mine with the circle eyes.
It's super cute. Super cute. Either way you do it, it's so cute. And then we don't need the black or the white paint anymore. So you can go ahead and put that away. Or this little paintbrush. give you guys a minute or so.
And that's the one.
Did you?
Yeah, a little bit. I touched it.
Oh,
So I just put black over top of it
yep. And
and I will,
that's a
Strike
good
it again.
point. If you do make a mistake with the white, go ahead and just paint over it with black again and try again. It's done. It's really cute. I keep looking at it. Does anybody have any questions so far?
okay.
I don't think so.
I was gonna say, so far
Good.
so good. Ooh, that really changed everything around, didn't it?
It did. It's okay.
I'll change it back. Ooh. Okay, there we are again. Okay, I'll try to do this again. Now, another touch it.
All right. So the next step is we're going to tackle painting the body.
This is gonna take a while.
Yes. But that's okay. So you just paint the body just like you did the head. We're going to get our gray paint out again and our larger paint brush. And you just start.
So I do want to tell you, inside of the hole here, because it's not something that we light up, that is the seeds and the dried pulp that's left in there. So when you're painting, you may not want to put that hole down because everything's going to fall out and it might get into your paint. So I would try painting it as much as you can with that hole up in the air. Or sideways. So that's just, it's not going to hurt anything. That's not going to rot or anything. It's all dry. It's just what's left in the gourd once it dries.
I'm going to start with my feet. You can start with your feet if you want, but you don't have to, but I'm going to because the original has the bottom of the feet painted, but once that's painted, it'll dry fast enough that we can set it back on its feet. I'm really glad we glued the feet in first.
See, look, I didn't even listen to my own instructions. That's okay.
Yeah, you'll probably, because when you're painting, you're not really like thinking too much about that hole.
No,
So it's okay if you get some seeds to come out.
It's a little tricky sometimes to get down around those little feet. They are
Mhm.
pretty close together, some of them.
That's okay. If you can't get it completely, it is the bottom.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not like people aren't picking it up, you won't see it.
I don't know if I've ever worked with this gray because it is very nice to work with
It is.
as far as how nice it is that it dries so fast.
Dries fast, it goes on really nice.
Yeah.
You'll see around the hole, there's like a sanded part there. I would definitely, actually, you don't really have to paint that because our little bow will cover that too.
Yeah, that will.
But if you want to paint it just to be safe, just in case it's not covered, go for it. But you don't have to go in the hole and paint that.
I think I'm gonna have to open up my other gray.
To paint the body, what I'm doing to hold it, I'm sticking my fingers in and kind of like bending them a little bit just to make it a little bit more sturdy and pinching it in the back if you're having trouble holding it. But what's nice is by the time you get your first coat done on all of it, you should be able to go back and do the second coat right away. But start where you started the first time.
Turn my fingers around a little bit. There we go. And if you are getting low on your gray, you are more than welcome to open up the other gray little container
Yes, for
and
sure.
use that. Yes.
And again, mine, I didn't water down the paint too much, and I'm not seeing that I need to paint another coat.
I just had to do a second coat on my feet
Yeah,
just because they were,
watered down a little bit.
yeah, and they were just a little harder to get to. So anything I missed the first time, I got the second.
Yeah. I am gonna let it dry a little bit and see if I think any spots need touched up. Other than that, we're done painting.
Yeah, we can see how that.
Maybe by painting these, the head won't slide as much.
Yeah, I think that could be too. I did want to let you know that we have another class coming up at the end of June. It is a USA class. I don't have it because they're making it right now, so they had to use it as the sample. But it's a USA, it's red, white, and blue. It's 3-tier, and then each board has a letter. That is going to be on June 22nd. It is $30, and I know that there's 5 kits left for that. So if you think you might be interested in doing that for the 4th of July, that you can go onto our website under farm events, just like you did for this one, and sign up for that one. And then we just announced our July class. We're only going to have one in July, and it's going to be July 27th. It's our Felix the Fox. So if you want to add to your little elephant and fox collection, he is $25. So he just went on sale. So you can check him out too. He's trying to be nice and neat.
Yes. I'm just giving everybody a little bit longer of a time to paint because I know that body does take a little bit.
Especially if you have to do 2 coats.
Yes, and I'm just kind of fast at painting at it. So I'm just giving you guys just a little bit longer before we do the last step, which is gluing the head to the body. Because once we glue the head to the body, we can't really scarf that or put the bow on tonight just because it's gonna take a little bit for the head to tack up.
That was one of the things we were talking about earlier, is how long it takes. Honestly, I would let this thing dry all night.
Mhm.
And then tomorrow morning, add your bow, and then it'll all be done. Did you want to go over at all about the black and the white? They wanted to stripe it, they could.
Oh, in the paint?
Yeah, just to
Yes.
give them an idea. If they
Mhm.
wanted to add that later, they could.
Yes. So even after we glue everything together, just because I am going to get to that point here soon so that you guys aren't feeling rushed or anything. If you want to make this look a little bit more like texturized so it looks more like skin, you are more than welcome to take that black paint and mix a little bit of it into your gray paint and then make strokes onto the gourd here. Our original has that. It's really hard to see, but
You can just see there's like a little texture there.
yeah. So you're more than welcome to do that. And that's how we did that. We just mixed a little bit of the, a little bit of that black paint into the gray paint. And just to make it a little darker, and then did a little bit of lines on it. So you're more than welcome to do that if you want to, but you don't have to. And like I said, you can do that after we glue, like you can do that tomorrow after we glue the head on if you're feeling rushed or because that's going to take a little bit of time as well to do that. And two, on the original, there are little flecks of white paint on the little legs here. You're more than welcome to do that as well if you would prefer. I think Dory is.
All I did was take my little tiny brush and put a little bit of white on the gourd. And then I just kind of put my finger across it. So I'll show you. I just took my finger across it just to give it a little bit of an accent there. So I kind of put it on and then just kind of smeared it across real tiny on the front ones there.
So you're more than welcome to do that too. There's a lot of things that you could do, especially when we do these classes. If there's a lot of like personalization that you want to do to your gourd specifically, you are more than welcome to do that. And I encourage you to do it if you want to.
It makes it very uniquely yours then.
Yeah. And it makes it different. Like it's something we don't have in our store because you made it your own. And so it's really unique and really nice. So you don't have to follow exactly what I'm saying and tell you to do. You can do your own thing. You could have painted this whole thing a different color.
It could be purple.
Yes, if you wanted it to. And if you want it a different color after you paint all of it today, you want to do it a different color tomorrow, go for it. All right, so I think I am going to go ahead and explain how to glue the head on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, once your body is dry, you're going to lay it down on its back where the feet are on the side. And you're going to take your glue with your Q-tip and put glue. I'm going to put it on the inside rim of the hole. But what I also want you to do is to put it out on the actual gourd itself on the top. So it should be sanded a little bit. It's not sanded completely the whole way around, but I would definitely put the glue the whole way around. And I would use a good bit of glue. I wouldn't go little on the glue just because we are putting a bow around the neck. So put a good amount of glue on the whole way around that circle.
Go heavy on the glue.
Yes. I'll even show you. So I'll put my glue on, and before I glue my head on, I'll show you how much glue I used. You want like a good bit. Almost like a mountain of glue.
There you
On
go.
top.
Mm.
And it's okay if some of that glue falls in. It won't hurt the gourd at all.
No.
And this dries clear. And like I said, we're going to put the bow around the neck.
But you won't do that till tomorrow morning.
Yes. But I'll still explain how to do the bow.
Okay, let's see.
So this is what my glue looks like. So it's like you can see that how
Yeah, you do have a mountain of glue there.
yeah, you just really want a good bit. That way that head stays on for you. And then you just take your head, you're going to line it up however you want it to go on there. And I would take the point here and line it up in between your feet.
No, it doesn't slide at all.
No,
So that's good.
that's really good.
I think I'm going to,
I'll use a little bit more glue.
yep,
Mhm.
I am. I'm just going to go around the,
Mine doesn't really have any holes around. So as you can see, my head doesn't have like any like holes that you can see. but Dory's
Mine has a
does.
big gap. You can see like the big holes. Now, I filled the hole on this side in with glue. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the back here. I'm just gonna put an excess amount of glue just to fill in that hole. And then that way I know it'll be stuck to the body.
Yes.
And I'll show you here. There, I just put a whole bunch of glue back there. So I could just fill that in.
And you'll definitely want to do that if you have any holes. You'll definitely want to fill it in with glue.
Yep.
But then that's it. That's all we can do for tonight.
Yep, he's just gonna sit like that for tonight.
But I will show you, explain to you how we do the bow. Because I'll take the bow off the original and retie it.
I'll move your little guy over.
You have to just move the box or hold it or something because it'll fall.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
There you go.
And if your elephant, when you lay it back like this, if it doesn't sit like this, just lean it up against something.
Yep. I put hers up against the box here, so.
Yeah. Because mine just doesn't sit. You want it to sit flat, so that the head doesn't tilt one way or the other. Also, I know a lot of people ask about like a finish on the gourd itself. These paints that we use are acrylic, so they have kind of that finish within the paint. So it should be already sealed up for you. But if you like that extra shine, as you can see on this gourd here, you're more than welcome to use. I think it's
It's a polyacrylic. And because we're not using white, you could actually use like a polyurethane. So either one of those would be fine. They come in different sheens, so you can use whatever you have laying around the house. You just spray it on.
Yep, but it is sealed, so you don't have to worry about it. If you put it outside, I would definitely spray it.
Yes.
But okay, so I'm going to tell you how to do the little bow. So you're just going to take your ribbon. You're going to fold it. You don't have to fold it. It'll kind of just fold on its own. But just to make it fit nicer in your hands, you're going to put it around the neck. Now, when you go to do these at home, it's easier to put the elephant between your legs. That way it's stable. You don't have to worry about it wobbling. But I'm going to try and show it to you as it sits on the table. But when you hold it, you'll also want to hold it where the ears are like this to you. Be very careful when you are bowing it that you don't scrape up your fingers by the ears. Because like I said, they are very sharp. So just be careful. So what I do is I have the two ends here. I take the strand that's in my left hand. I'm going to put that over top of the strand that's in my right hand and just go underneath and pull it. And that step does matter. It's very specific because if it's the other way, the bow is actually going to go crooked instead of straight. So that's why that's that way. So then I just take the left side again. So just remember left side for everything. Left side again, you make your loop. So I have it on my finger here. You'll take this right strand and you're going to go over that loop, under. This material is very tricky. It's very slippery. So you're going to go over, under, and through, and you're just going to pull it tight. So as you can see, it makes a little bow, and then you can fix it. Some of your strands might be really long, so you're going to have like a longer piece out here. If you want to just cut it with your scissors, you're more than welcome to. But that's how you do that. So I'll do it one more time because I know this can be really tricky. So I'm just going to untie it. So again, you have your two strands here. Your left side is going to go over. So let me just show that to you here. So your left side here is going to go over your right and up through. And you're going to tie it. Tie it pretty tight. You're going to take the left side here again. You're going to loop it with your finger. You're going to take this right side. You're going to take it over the top, around that loop that's in your finger, and then you're going to go up through the hole. It's really hard to see with the ear, but you'll just go through that hole in the backside and you'll tie it tight. And that's how you'll tie your bow. Just like that. Any questions?
Okay, I did put the link to the class page from our website on if you guys are interested in either signing up for the USA or the Fox class. We love to see your creations. So when you're all finished, after you get your bow on and everything, if you'd like to share pictures on Facebook or Instagram, we would love to see them. We know what we do. We just like to see what everybody else does too. So it's really neat to see. And I think just let this elephant dry overnight. Do your bow tomorrow. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me. I'm here from 10 to 4 tomorrow. And I will actually, we recorded this, so I will be sending out the recording also. So if for some reason you missed something, came late, need her to, what did she say about that bow? You can go back and look and replay that as many times as you want. And any questions before we go, or about Meadowbrook, or about the gourd itself? Okay.
Can I ask you a question? What kind of glue was it that we used?
It's called tacky glue. It's a lean tacky glue. You normally can get it at like Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Yes, there is no more AC Moore's, but but any kind of craft stores you can normally get it at. It does come in different kind of grades. We just use a normal.
Okay.
But
Do you guys have Hobby Lobbies up there?
We do have Hobby Lobbies.
Oh, we don't have any close by here.
Oh, really?
Mm.
I really like Hobby Lobby. I wish it wasn't here.
Oh, yeah, it gets us into trouble, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
We have a question about putting the head in. So we have you put a lot of glue on the opening.
Yes.
And then when you put the head in,
Should it be down or should it be raised?
should it be down or should it be raised a little?
It'll be raised a little bit. So if you can see this one here,
Can you
there's
see
a gap. So it'll definitely
Okay.
be raised a little bit, but you want it pretty flat and pretty horizontal.
Now mine kind of just
little bit
naturally
down.
goes down a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, I filled my gap in really with a lot of glue because I
Yeah,
had
I
a big
thought it was
gap
quite
right
smart.
here.
Oop, your head.
Okay.
And that's
Wouldn't
why
have
you let
touched
it sit.
Oh, I'm re-gluing. Oh,
I'll show you
We're doing
my
all
hair
that
too.
too. Thank
Mine
you.
has a little curve onto it, so either way I bring it up. I just don't want it up too far, but also a good way to know if it's up too far is whenever you like set it down on the table or
Okay.
keep a hold of the head. When you have it on the table or you have it like this, you'll know if the eyes are pointed up too far. So that's how you know if it's
Okay.
too far up.
All right, I see.
I'm not touching mine again. So, okay, well, if there's
Thank
no,
you, ladies.
thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you for
Thank you.
spending the evening with us. And if you have any questions, please give us a call. I'm glad you could come with us.
We enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Good.
All right. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
And I think when you get the link.
I'm gonna move this here.